In today's video, we're going to show you how to set up a sandbox environment that enables you to simulate Bitcoin and fiat payments on your Zaprite checkouts without sending any real value. This is useful for when you want to trigger transaction states to test your API setup, but you want to avoid adding test data to your live account. To get started, we're going to navigate over here to the top left where your business org name is, and we're going to select the arrow to drop down. We're going to add a new organization here. Now, you can leave this email as it is, or you can change it, but this is the email that's going to be associated with this Sandbox account. And then for the environment, we want to change it from live to Sandbox. And if you notice, this message here is exactly what we went over, that this is going to simulate transactions on your Zaprite checkouts without moving any money. Once you're ready, we can create and configure. Now, you're going to be taken to your Sandbox dashboard here, and you can tell by looking up here at the top here in this blue box that says Sandbox, and then you notice that there's no information since this is brand new populated here. Now, I do want to highlight the capabilities and the restrictions of the Sandbox is that there's no subscription required. Zaprite's test payment plugin, which I'll show you here in a second, is automatically enabled and added to default, and there's no other connections that can be added. Knowing that, we can go ahead and go to our checkout tab here and see indeed that there is no other connections, and there's only a test payment Bitcoin and a test payment bank. So now let's go ahead and try this out where we can actually fire off a transaction without sending any Bitcoin or without sending any fiat. We're going to go over to our payment links. Because this is a brand new environment, we're going to have to create a new payment link. If you haven't seen our video yet on creating payment links, I suggest you go check that out. We're going to speed through this here just for demonstration purposes. And now when we're done populating, we can go ahead and select save. That's going to create this payment link. We're going to have a URL for this payment link, which we're going to go ahead and open in the new tab. And here we have our payment link with our test Bitcoin transaction payment method and bank payment method. We're going to go ahead and select Bitcoin for this example. The payment amount is going to be $10. The payment status here is going to be either pending or confirmed. So you can trigger off any one of these tests. We're going to go with the confirmed here, and we're going to pay in Bitcoin. And just like if somebody paid this transaction, we're going to have a paid statement here. You can go ahead and download a test receipt. And if you navigate back over to your Zaprite dashboard, you can see that a Bitcoin payment did come through this payment link here. You can dial in and see more information about this test transaction. And likewise, you can navigate over to the transaction section and see that indeed that payment for test did come in with the Bitcoin method with an amount that's a test amount. And you could dive in and see a lot more details about this transaction. So there you have it. You have now mocked up a Bitcoin transaction. You have been able to test out if your endpoints are actually working. And if you want more information about the API, you can go ahead and navigate over to zaprite.com/developers. Or if you want to get straight to the API docs to see how you can implement this directly to your application, it's also important to highlight that within the Sandbox environment, you can set up test keys and webhook URLs just like you normally would in a live environment. You can go ahead here to api.zaprite.com to see the docs, and you'll be able to implement this into your application, and you can always go back and test brand new transactions.